SWAT Kats is one of the best animated action series of the 90s. With 2 seasons, a total of 23 episodes, and countless brutal action scenes, this show is still celebrated today. Even though it first aired in 1993, it remains a cult classic. That's obviously due to its remarkable, innovative animation, its gripping story, and its complex characters. Let's immerse ourselves in this feline universe, plenty of fascinating adventures. So, the story of the Radical Squadron stars Chance Furlong and Jake Clausen, 2 citizens of Megakat, a metropolis inhabited by anthropomorphic cats. Chance and Jake are 2 pilots who used to belong to the city's special forces, the Enforcers. One day, after a failed mission, they are fired and reduced to work in a junkyard. However, they do not remain idle and create a base with the military waste found there, as well as weapons and vehicles that they use to protect the city of Megakat as anonymous vigilantes. Operating under the names Razor and T-Bone, they form the SWAT Kats. Their team would not be complete without mentioning their super advanced fighter jet, called the Turbokat, which was created from debris and has a large arsenal of weapons. Razor is the leader of the team. He is in charge of designing and building as many weapons as possible. He also operates the radars and weapons when in battle and is very good in combat. He has a calmer and more calculating temperament than his partner and best friend T-Bone. On the other hand, we have T-Bone, an excellent pilot who is in charge of flying the flamboyant Turbokat. T-Bone has a more temperamental and impatient character than his buddy, and sometimes he is willing to question the decisions of his partner Razor. In the first episode, we meet the Past Master, a kind of zombie anthropomorphic cat who possesses the ability to summon anything that comes from the past, such as dinosaurs or skeletons. Due to the powers of the Past Master, our heroes are sent to the past. Unfortunately, their ship runs out of fuel, so they have to manage to make their way out. T-Bone realizes there's a volcano from where they can extract gas and use it as fuel for the ship. When they finally return to their time, they confront the Past Master. They use the ammunition of the Turbokat, which are concrete bullets against the dinosaurs, and launch a missile in the middle of Megakat, which stops the Past Master. Later, we learn a bit more about the SWAT Kats' life as civilians. They are talented mechanics whose habitual client is Callie, the mayor's assistant. However, she does not know they are the SWAT Kats themselves, as they act as undercover agents. Razor and T-Bone are both deeply in love with Callie, mainly because she loves the SWAT Kats and their job protecting the city. Then, Dr. Viper makes his appearance in the show. He is a crazy scientist whose special ability is to create bacteria that mutate the cats in Megakat and transform them into dangerous and disgusting creatures. After all the chaos provoked by these creatures, the mayor and Callie try to stop them by using weapons with antibiotics. However, the monsters have developed immunity against the vaccines, so they continue to propagate destruction along the city. Sooner than later, our heroes appear to realize that the creatures are weak against electricity, so the SWAT Kats take advantage of this. Although General Ulysses Farrell is furious with the SWAT Kats because they leave half of the city without electricity, T-Bone and Razor are happy to have saved the citizens. In the next adventure, we know Dark Cat, a villain who steals plutonium from a nuclear power plant. In response, General Farrell plans to attack him with missiles. Luckily, Callie possesses common sense and is there to make him understand the atrocity he is about to commit. At that very moment, the SWAT Kats remember their past and the relationship they had with General Farrell. Previously, they had been subordinate soldiers under the general's command. In a previous mission, they confronted Dark Cat. They get involved in a ship chase, but when they had the villain in their sights, General Farrell interfered, wanting to take credit for the mission by telling them that they were just a pair of rookies. Unfortunately, this only hindered Razor and T-Bone's ship movements. As a result, our heroes crashed into a building, and Dark Cat managed to escape. As punishment, Farrell fired them and sent them to work as mechanics until they pay for the reconstruction of the building. From that moment on, their workplace was the junkyard. There, they gathered all the metal pieces and built their ship, the Turbokat, all their gadgets, and their secret base. Coming back to the present, we see that Farrell has been kidnapped by Dark Cat. Despite not having the best relationship, the SWAT Kats head toward Dark Cat's secret base, located in a volcano, to rescue Farrell. To get in, they launch a drill missile and struggle to free Farrell. Dark Cat retreats, but the SWAT Kats are hungry for revenge. This time, they completely disobey Feral, who once again wants to be the one to finish off the villain. After blocking the trajectory of Feral's ship with the Turbokat's smoke, they launch 2 missiles right at Dark Cat's ship, which they manage to shoot down. Later on, 2 of the most remarkable antagonists of the show appear, the Megakat. Mac and Molly are husband and wife. They are gangsters whose bodies perished and are now completely made of metal. Their first job is to get his old group back and to charcoal the current boss. However, that's not the worst of it. The pair throw a cigar that turns out to be a bomb. It ends up exploding and killing their former colleagues. Quickly, the SWAT Kats rush to the scene only to see the victims writhing in pain in the middle of the fire. The Megalakats head to City Hall to catch the mayor as he had previously banned them from parole. As a result, Mac and Molly decide to escape from prison on a boat. In the midst of their escape, a vessel collided with them, causing an accident that left them on the verge of death. Fortunately, Dr. Jacob, a scientist, found them and transferred their minds to robots. When the cats awoke and realized they were still alive, Dr. Jacob explained that he had transferred all their memories to a memory card. Returning to the present, Callie claims that the mayor never denied her parole, but that it was herself who had forbidden it. All this is because she does not trust the mayor's common sense. Hearing this, the Megalakats grab Callie and throw her out the window of the building. Just at that moment, our heroes appear and rescue Callie with a net. Then they fight the Megalakats. Razor fires a missile that electrifies and blows up Mac. Molly comes to his rescue, but the SWAT Kats end up throwing her from above, and she is blown to pieces when she hits the ground. Time passes by, and even though everything seems quiet, a new villain shows up. That's when we meet the Ghost Pilot, an ancient soldier from the First Cat World War known as the Red Lynx. This ghost recovers his plane after being found by some cats. The Red Lynx is remembered for being the most ruthless and evil pilot of all time. Despite his bad reputation, T-Bone admires him. The Red Lynx's motivation is to go after the mayor, who is a descendant of his fiercest rival, the Blue Manx. The ghost longs to take revenge because Blue Manx had been the only pilot who managed to shoot him down. T-Bone is forced to confront his idol and succeeds in taking him down. Thanks to his weapons, he manages to damage the wings of Red Lynx's plane, which descends and sinks into the ocean. Razor jokes with T-Bone, telling him that he could only defeat him because he had the technological advantage of the Turbokat. However, Red Lynx survives and takes over the new version of the Blue Manx jet, created in the name of the mayor's grandfather. The ghost pilot stalks and bombs the city in order to annihilate the mayor, who tries to escape in his luxury car. Meanwhile, the SWAT Kats chase the Red Lynx, firing missiles at it, which the ghost pilot manages to dodge. But T-Bone insists and fires again, this time hitting the target. The Red Lynx plane is damaged and falls back into the water, giving victory once and for all to the SWAT Kats. The mayor is saved one more time, but our heroes do not have time to relax. Professor Hackle offers Megalakats the opportunity to change their lives by inserting microchips to become good people. The professor mentions that Mac could be their chauffeur, and Molly, their new housekeeper. At that moment, the professor realizes when he sees the news that they built the macrobots he had designed. Upon learning that they would be used for evil purposes, the professor resigned, but they decided to build the machines without him anyway. To no one's surprise, the Megalakats obviously refuse to become helper robots and run away to use these giant robots. By finding some vehicles, the Megalakats manage to find the SWAT Kats' hangar. Razor and T-Bone head there and find themselves in a confrontation with the Megalakats, who discover their secret identities. After a tough battle, the SWAT Kats manage to crush the Megalakats with the Turbokat platform. But the Megalakats are not finished yet. The villains get to the macrobots, pilot them, and cause chaos in the city. Quickly, the SWAT Kats show up to fight them. Razor tackles the macrobot commanded by Molly, so she flees to the other one that Mac controls. Now the macrobots face each other. Razor seems to be losing, but T-Bone helps him with the Turbokat, and so they manage to finish with the villains. Finally, Feral runs into the almost destroyed Megalakat and shoots them with a nerve neutralizer that the professor had given him earlier. After some time, we meet another villain. This is a crazy cat who is locked in an asylum with a straitjacket. This cat is mad because he hates stand-up comedy, but he affirms he loves jokers. This crazy cat manages to make his way out of the asylum. While he is fleeing, he sees a jack-in-the-box in a toy store. This toy calls his attention because he thinks that they look alike. When he is about to catch it, the owner of the store appears and explains to the crazy cat that the jack-in-the-box used to belong to the ancient joker Mad Cat, who drove crazy when another joker took his place. The owner also mentions that the previous owner had sworn to take revenge on the people who had imprisoned him. The cat is excited about the story and takes the toy, even though the owner says that it's not on sale. When the crazy cat touches the jack-in-the-box, a magical blue aura surrounds him and turns him into the Mad Cat. This fusion gives the Mad Cat a set of several powers. He can shrink and enlarge, throw sharp cards, become a giant ball that splits into smaller ones, and more abilities rather difficult to understand. The Mad Cat first takes care of the comedians he likes, and then spreads terror among the citizens by enlarging and destroying the whole city. The SWAT Kats enter the scene to fight the evildoer, but find it really difficult as the Mad Cat's powers are very unpredictable. However, the SWAT Kats meet the owner of the toy store, who tells them how they can stop him. He points out that according to legend, the Mad Cat's weak spot is in his jester's hat, and that is where they must attack. With this new information about the villain, the Razor and T-Bone head to beat the Mad Cat. With their weapons, they struggle to finally reduce him by shooting toward the jester hat with a laser gun. The spell is undone, so the crazy cat and the jack-in-the-box are separated, leaving the crazy cat vulnerable. He takes the toy and attempts to run away, but right at that instant, Razor and General Feral appear to punch and catch him. Sometime later, things get tough for the SWAT Kats. After being defeated by the SWAT Kats because they were too busy fighting each other, Dark Cat and Dr. Viper decide to team up and unite against their common enemies. They recruit the Metallicats to their cause. At first, the Metallicats are not convinced at all, claiming that they hate the SWAT Kats too, but prefer to work on their own. However, Dark Cat has gone a step further and has installed electric collars around their necks, allowing him to electrocute the Metallicats at the push of a button. The Metallicats eventually join the team to form the Invincible Alliance of Evil, whose sole purpose is to kill the SWAT Kats once and for all. First, the Metallicats rob a bank to draw the SWAT Kats' attention. The heroes show up and get into a chase with the Metallicats. As they go through a tunnel, Razor discovers the Alliance. Unfortunately, he is captured by one of Dr. Viper's creatures, but manages to escape. With everything in the city destroyed, General Feral accuses the SWAT Kats of destroying Megakat City and demands that they confess their guilt. Mac poses as the mayor's driver and manages to kidnap him and Callie. Shortly thereafter, Dark Cat sends a message to the SWAT Kats on television, telling them that they have their friends. He also says that they must surrender by sunrise or risk the deaths of the hostages. Our heroes head to Megakat Island to rescue their friends. As they approach, the villains attack them and shut down the Turbokat, which falls into the ocean. However, the SWAT Kats use their water vehicle and arrive on the scene to confront the villains. Once there, the villains begin to turn on each other and fight. The SWAT Kats take advantage of this and try to get rid of them. In addition, General Feral shows up and gives the SWAT Kats a helping hand. Eventually, the bad guys end up trapped in a dome that T-Bone activates, but Dark Cat threatens to blow up the island and does just that. Fortunately, the SWAT Kats, General Feral, Callie and the mayor are safe and sound. One day, Razor and T-Bone are training on their test track when suddenly, T-Bone's rope cuts and he ends up falling into the water. T-Bone starts drowning, swallowing water and then sinking. Without a second thought, Razor quickly dives into the water to save his friend. Fortunately, he manages to rescue T-Bone, and Razor realizes that his friend can't swim. Once T-Bone recovers, Razor asks him about it, but he is upset and doesn't want to talk about it. Meanwhile, the city is flooded with contaminated water. All this is the work of the evil Dr. Viper, a mutant cat scientist who spreads all the mutant sludge around the city. Due to this contaminated substance, cats and other animals begin to mutate, turning into ruthless beasts. Obviously, our heroes go to the scene and are attacked by a gigantic mutant frog. At this point, we are introduced to a new character, Felina Feral, the niece of General Feral. She is a soldier specialized in combat who joins the SWAT Kats to fight the criminals. In the midst of all the mess, Dr. Viper uses his own chemical to become a huge half-cat, half-reptile beast. The SWAT Kats realize that the only way to end the mutant epidemic and the monsters is to get the cure. On their way to the biochemical labs, Razor and T-Bone encounter a monster that causes T-Bone to fall into the water. Although Razor manages to save him, the mutant causes a wound that causes the substance to enter his body and turns him into a mutant beast. This is how Razor and T-Bone must face each other. Not wanting to hurt his friend, Razor leaves T-Bone imprisoned against a wall. At that precise moment, Callie warns them that Dr. Viper is destroying everything in its path. With the help of the Turbokat, Razor brings the chemicals to the surface, but unfortunately, the ship runs out of fuel, and Dr. Viper manages to get hold of the chemical tanks that have the cure. When all seems lost, Razor uses the ejector seat and shoots the tanks with the cure. After this maneuver, Razor collapses into the water and begins to decay. However, the cure works and the mutations disappear in all the citizens, including T-Bone, who frees himself and dives in to save his friend. Once outside the water, T-Bone reanimates Razor, who is surprised at how his friend beat his fear of water. The SWAT Kats never rest, and this time, the Past Master returns. Contrary to last time, he does not take them to the past, but to a dystopian future where the Metallicats are the mayors of the city. Now the city is robotized and controlled in its entirety by a kind of artificial intelligence. After arriving in this futuristic city, T-Bone and Razor meet their old friends, the mayor, Callie, and even Professor Hackle, but they all look older. Together, they form the Resistance. The Metallicats betray the Past Master and steal his magic watch, which allows him to use his powers and return to the past. As a result, the Past Master and the SWAT Kats ally to confront and stop the Metallicats. The SWAT Kats succeed and manage to recover the watch to return to their time, but take advantage of the situation to get rid of the Past Master, throwing him into the vortex they opened to return to his time, which they assume will leave him trapped in the past. One day, an alien ship decides to visit Earth to steal water from the seas. We meet Mutilor, the leader of the alien group who wants to steal Earth's water to sell it to another race called Zarhabi. The SWAT Kats are warned and go to the scene with their land vehicle to stop the aliens. When the SWAT Kats arrive, Mutilor realizes that stealing the water will not be as easy as he thought, so he moves the ship to a higher orbit. However, the fearless Felina Faral manages to board the spacecraft. Once there, she realizes that this race was nothing more than space pirates and had hijacked the ship of the Aquians, a race of alien cats who are held captive there. Between the SWAT Kats and Felina, they manage to save the Aquians. Mutilor takes off in his escape ship and attempts to retaliate. The resulting battle disables the Turbokat, but not before Razor slips one last missile past its defenses and lodges it in the escape ship's main weapon. Mutilor fires this weapon, exploding the missile and killing him as a result. Since the Turbokat is badly damaged, the Aquians repair and refurbish it as a token of their appreciation for saving and freeing them. Later, we meet Turmoil, a nefarious she-cat tyrant using her airship and a squad of female cat pilots to take over Megakat City by controlling the airspace. She has a weapon that fires rays that make you feel dizzy and vertigo. She is able to catch the Turbokat using this weapon. She attempts to seduce T-Bone by introducing him to her pilots, showing him modified jets that allegedly never made it past the drawing board, and even promising him a job as a flight commander since she is pleased by his skills. T-Bone eventually got the better of her, having just feigned to fall for her charms, and she was vanquished and taken into custody. When she was last seen, she was making plans to break out and exact sweet revenge on T-Bone. As the story progresses, we learn the origins of Dr. Viper, who was a simple assistant to Dr. Enzyme and was known as Purvis. This doctor wanted to develop a fast-growing substance for plants to replant the withered world. However, instead of donating the substance to restore the earth, Purvis chooses the path of greed and tries to steal it so he can sell it and become very rich. While fleeing with the potion, he stumbles and falls into Dr. Enzyme's waste, which turns him into the monster we met before. Later, we see that Zyme's formula was not quite right as it turned the plants into horrible monsters with dangerous fangs and other mutations. Dr. Viper captures him and explains that he will mutate the insects with his formula. Not only does he capture the Zyme, but he also captures Callie and the mayor, but Callie manages to alert the SWAT Kats to come to their rescue. After getting rid of some mutant wasps, T-Bone and Razor confront Dr. Viper, who flees through the sewers, and our heroes manage to save their friends. One day, a stray lightning bolt hits the Turbokat, while the SWAT Kats are testing their new dimensional radar system. This unpredictable lightning sends them into an alternate universe where there are evil versions of Razor and T-Bone. In this dimension, the SWAT Kats are wanted thieves and work for none other than the feared Dark Cat. However, the real governor in this world is an evil version of Callie Briggs, which makes things even harder for the duo. Once they step into this parallel universe, our heroes are mistaken for the Dark SWAT Kats by Dark Cat, so Razor and T-Bone are ordered to steal an essential component for a bomb that the Dark Cat is planning to use to destroy Megakat City. Then Dark Cat realizes he has sent the wrong SWAT Kats, so he sends the real Dark SWAT Kats to kill their good counterparts. T-Bone and Razor get involved in an airborne fight in which they must stop the Dark SWAT Kats. After a harsh battle, the good SWAT Kats use the weapon with concrete bullets to seal the hatch of the Dark SWAT Kats ship. This movement is efficient enough to win the fight. To finish their enemies, the SWAT Kats launch a last missile, which provokes a strange electric force that leads them to their own dimension. In their last mission, the SWAT Kats will have to confront the Metallicats. As usual, the evildoers are committing crimes. This time they attempt to rob a bank. However, they have a face-off with General Feral and the SWAT Kats. While fighting to escape, the villains are harmed badly. Mac loses one of his arms while Molly is electrocuted and almost killed. When they finally manage to escape, they realize after seeing a news story, a new piece of technology dubbed the Micro-Brain Repair Unit was created. This device analyzes the components and functions of any mechanical or electronic device and fixes them almost instantaneously. As Mac cannot stand Molly's suffering, he steals the device, which repairs himself and Molly flawlessly. At first, the device obeys the Metallicats and does everything they order. However, the device is still in the experimentation stage and becomes self-aware after its programming is contaminated with the Metallicats' criminal personalities. As a result, the robotic sphere begins to assimilate anything mechanical and use them to make itself bigger and more powerful, naming itself Zed. After assimilating several tanks and Mac, the device goes on a rampage through Megakat City, absorbing everything on its way. To stop Zed and save Mac, Molly has no other alternative than teaming up with the SWAT Kats and the scientist who created the device. Zed must be stopped before it assimilates the high-tech weapons and becomes unstoppable. That won't be an easy job due to the SWAT Kats won't be able to operate their Turbokat because the robot will be able to assimilate it too. Therefore, they need to wear a special belt that creates a force field and inhibits the robot's assimilation abilities. To do that, they have to eliminate Zed from the inside, but the robot has evolved quickly and there are plenty of robotic antibodies they must fight. They finally reach the heart of the robot. The group sees Mac and Molly is suddenly assimilated by the machine. Although the SWAT Kats are ready to dismantle the robot, its creator refuses to shut it down. He instead fuses with his creation and threatens to destroy the city. However, T-Bone manages to destroy the helmet that works as a connection between the creator and Zed, and provokes the robot to self-destruct itself. Once outside the machine, everyone is safe, including the Metallicats. General Feral and Felina congratulate the SWAT Kats for the work done, and that's the last time we will see our felines' heroes.